colors are coming together. That's where our rotation detector is showing the possibility of an active tornado. And what you're looking at here is a product that helps us identify if we have large hail. And indeed, we have the possibility, the very likelihood that we have large hail coming out of this storm as well. Where is the hail? Just exiting Waller County, just through Waller right now, and pushing right toward the Cypress area. So anything you can get up under cover quickly before the storm reaches you, you should try to do that. Again, let's dig in and take a closer look at where the storm is located. First, I'll update the track. Again, this is just moving into the Cypress area now. It will reach Katy here in just the next few minutes. That's the leading edge of that line of thunderstorms. Cinco Ranch by 6:08, Mission Bend by 6:17, Spring by 6:25, and downtown by 6:31. Yes, it is now 6 o'clock in the evening, and we've got team coverage going with weather, active weather pushing into North and West Harris County right now. Kim Castro and Chris Ramirez joining me as an active tornado warning is in effect for Northwest Harris County. This is in effect for at least the next 30 minutes. It is moving into the heart of the Cypress area right now, and that's why we've broken into programming to track this and keep you safe. And if you are in the path of this storm, you're going to want to go to the first home interior room, like an interior hallway or a closet or an interior bathroom, away from the exterior walls of your home. That's the safest place to be. You have more frame of the house around you, so if a tree does come down, a large branch does come down, you're more protected. It's just a better way to keep you and your family safer. Let me zoom in closer here. So here's what we're looking at. There's the rotation, and I'll update right there. That's our rotation. West Road, just north of Freeman Road in far west Harris County. It is just south of 290, moving east at about 50 miles an hour. This storm is really racing. And so this will be pushing toward Greenhouse Road, West Little York, and Clay Road. It's entering our northwest neighborhoods here very, very shortly. There's the storm itself. I'm going to move that storm track just out of the way for a moment. That's the rotation that Doppler radar indicates, and that's the type of rotation that can produce a tornado. So again, just in northwest Harris County, you can see Fry Road, Greenhouse Road, Barker Cypress Road, all just south of 290. That's where that rotation is, and that's where this tornado is moving through and headed right now. If you are in the path of this storm, northwest Harris County, 290 south, Greenhouse Road, Barker Cypress Road, Fry Road. Take cover now, interior room of your home, away from windows on the first floor. You want to get away from as much window and glass as you can. That's the flying debris that can cause serious injury during a tornado. Zoom out so you can get a bigger picture. There's the system just crossing into over the 99 connector, just south of 290, north of I-10. And what I'll do is update our storm track. So there's the leading edge. So as this races east, this is going to reach the Katy area here just right about now. Just the southern edge of that line is reaching Katy right now. Cinco Ranch by 6:10, Spring Valley by 6:24. Folks in Spring Valley, this is heading right toward your neighborhoods. You've got about 20 minutes to get loose items in and get hunkered down on the first floor interior room of your home, away from windows. That's the safest place to be during a tornado. Spring, the leading edge of the line, reaches you by 6:26. This will reach downtown by 6:33 as the storm itself, again, is racing to the southeast at about 50 miles an hour. There's the tornadic part of it. That's the path the tornadic thunderstorm is on. So again, Spring Valley, it's about 20 minutes away from your neighborhoods. Let's take a look outside. Let's go to Transtar. Of course, we've got cameras up and down 290 and out west on I-10. And the sky has just darkened tremendously in the Cypress area. Again, the storm just now passing over the 99 connector just south of 290, Fry Road, Greenhouse Road, just south of 290, northwest Harris County. Active tornado warning in effect and an active circulation showing on radar. So we have confidence that this is, if not producing a funnel cloud, producing an active tornado and you want to take cover in northwest Harris County right now. Greenhouse Road, Fry Road. And again, this is what it looks right now. Look at the lightning and thunder, and look how dark it's gotten. Again, this is 290 out at Mushkey. So we're just to the east of the leading edge of those storms right now. Those storms are heading toward the camera view you're looking at. And it's a dangerous situation. We don't often get signatures like this quite as strong as this one is showing up on radar. So there's quite a bit of confidence that we have, at a minimum, significant damaging winds and possibly a damaging tornado just crossing over the 99 connector just south of 290. Now this is our camera on 290, the Northwest Freeway. We're looking to the northwest. We're at Mushkey Road, and you're looking at the line of storms that is racing toward your camera view. So the leading edge of this circulation is racing east. It is now right over the top of the 99 connector just south of 290. So this is going to be entering the Greenhouse Road area and Freeman Road, all neighborhoods in the Memorial Villages south of 290, north of I-10. You're going to want to take cover now. This is moving into the Copperfield area. Copperfield neighborhood, if you can hear me and the sound of my voice, you're going to want to take cover. First floor of your home, interior room, closet, bathroom, away from windows. Get as much frame of the house and structure around you as you can. This is moving into the Copperfield neighborhoods right now. You can see on the radar Clay Road, Greenhouse Road. You see it's just to the west of Highway 6 right now. So again, Highway 6, here's Highway 6 right here. There's Barker Cypress. There's Greenhouse. And you can see the leading edge of that rotation is now just about to move right into the heart of the Copperfield area, Highway 6 south of 290. That is where all of this is headed. We'll reset here for you. So again, Doppler radar is showing rotation inside the storm. That is where these hot colors and these cool colors are coming together. Just south of 290, just to the west of Highway 6, that's moving into the heart of the Copperfield area. So you see Barker Cypress Road, Fry Road, North Eldridge Parkway, Clay Road, Highway 6, along and south of 290. If you can hear me, take cover now. Interior room of your home, on the first floor of your home or business, away from windows, inside a bathroom, inside an interior closet. You're going to hear me repeat this over and over and over again. That's okay. This is where you keep you and your family as safe as possible until this severe storm passes through. And again, you can see on the radar, we've got this rotation right now centered over Fry Road just south of 290, Barker Cypress Road just south of 290, moving right into the heart of the Copperfield area right now. The storm is racing east at 50 miles an hour. That's the path the storm is on. So if this holds together, this is going to pass through the Jersey Village area in about 10 minutes. That means Jersey Village, Fairbanks, folks in Woodwind Lakes, that would be reaching the northwest side of 290, of Beltway 8, northwest side of Beltway 8 where it meets 290. All neighborhoods there need to be beginning to think about taking cover from this storm as it approaches. This is the Katy area, where blinding rain is now entering the Katy area. The rotation is just north of you, Katy, but the line that's producing these straight line winds in excess of 50, 60, 70 miles an hour indicated by radar is passing through Katy right now. It's blinding rain, slowing down traffic. Just take cover and let that blow through and just give it some time to move through. It's not safe to be outside on the west and northwest side of Harris County. What I'll do is update the storm track on this. You can clearly see where this kink in the line is located. See the kink right over Cypress, Copperfield, just south of 290. That's right near Highway 6. We'll zoom in. There's Highway 6. So this is coming right through the heart of the Copperfield area, moving east at about 50. I'm going to update the storm track on this. Update the speed to 50. And so here's our storm track. This reaches Satsuma by 6:13, Jersey Village by 6:16, reaches Fairbanks. You look at Satsuma there again. Fairbanks by 6:20, Roseland by 6:23, Aldine by 6:29, Hawthorne Place by 6:31. And again, that area I've circled, you see the rotation. That is a well-defined couplet. That's what we call when radar indicates circulation inside a thunderstorm that could cause a tornado. So right now that's indicating a very strong couplet. It's likely we have at a minimum a funnel cloud there, if not an active tornado moving just south of 290, moving east-southeast at about 50 miles an hour. And I know Kim and Chris are monitoring this as well. Let me know when they're ready for an update. Okay, Kim Castro. So we saw the Weather Service issue a tornado watch about 3 hours ago.
Right.
Looking at what the parameters are that could cause a tornado, we know we got that upper level low that can give a little spin to the atmosphere, and that is exactly what we are seeing.
We were talking about all the different elements, that surface front, the upper level low, and we noticed the inevitable, which was how hot and humid and how unstable the air has been. And yeah, that's why that tornado watch got issued and why we've got an active tornado warning now. This is the big picture. We're all going to see impacts. This is a bow echo signature that's about to race into the heart of Houston. So the loop and the beltway, you're going to be impacted here very shortly. Talking about this active tornado warning that lasts us another 20 minutes right now, passing through the Cypress area, heading into Jersey Village. Radar indicated rotation and radar indicated hail too. Ping pong to golf ball sized hail. So this is going to be some large hail. I'll show you the signatures here in a moment. But right now, looking at the reflectivity, whether or not you're right in the heart of this rotation, this swath of bright turquoise and the bright red, that shows the wind that's in opposition of each other, which would be the rotation, but also just how impactful it is. So 70 to 80 mile an hour wind speeds, think about that. That could very well pick up a chair and hurl it at you if you're outside as this is passing through, which is why we're telling you to go inside, preferably to an interior space, because if this is tornadic and reaching the ground, that could very well get into your neighborhood. So yeah, tracking the spin of this couplet right now, and also tracking its very fast movement. So over the last, I'd say 30 minutes or so, it's picked up its speed. It was moving at 45 miles an hour and then 50. And then David, most recently, it's been moving at 60 miles an hour straight east. And so it is really coming at you fast, which is why if you're in any of these neighborhoods, Spring, the big airport, did you have any relatives that were planning to fly today? Everybody's got to be watching this storm and the storm motion really carefully.
That's exactly right, Kim. So Jersey Village, take cover now. Fairbanks, take cover now. That's the northwest corner of the Beltway right there. There's 290. Jersey Village, Fairbanks, that's Veterans Memorial. Everybody along Veterans Memorial need to take cover now as well. That's our active tornado warning right there in Harris County. It's in effect till 6:30. It may be extended. That may push past the Beltway and even in to the immediate inside the Beltway here if that holds together. And again, I'm going to reset. We're going to update it. Yeah, that's a real good looking couplet right there. You're looking at Sherman. She's in Weather Tracker. She's on I-45 heading up towards Spring. She's got blinding rain up there. There's your couplet. That's where we have rotation indicated by radar. Right over 290 now. 290 and Highway 6. Right there. Take cover, interior room of your home, away from windows, first floor. Jersey Village, it's knocking on the door. You need to take cover now. Everybody on the northwest side, West Road, Antoine, Fairbanks, North Houston, West Little York, near Jersey Village. Take cover now. Get in your home, interior room, in a closet, in a bathroom. There's the rotation. And I'll go ahead and update the storm track on that. Again, this is racing southeast now at about 60 miles an hour. I need to update the storm speed. So there's your folks, in the path of this storm, this is going to, okay, it's 290 at Spring Cypress, and you can see the rain just blinding. You do not want to be out in that. Yeah, and you may be able to hear that they're issuing a new tornado warning for the heart of Harris County. It includes the Houston area now. That's where this storm is headed. Storms in Jersey Village now. Reaches Fairbanks at 6:17, Highland Heights at 6:23, Hawthorne Place by 6:26, Dryersdale by 6:23, Galena Park by 6:37. And there's your active tornado warning. That's where the winds are rotating. You see the hot and cold colors on Doppler radar. That's where we have this potential rotation. Not only that, but large hail racing southeast at about 60 miles an hour now. It's just entering Jersey Village. There's the Beltway. That's Beltway 8, 290 is right here. So right where 290 and the Beltway come together, that's where that rotation is right now. It's moving basically right down 290. We'll zoom out so you can get a better view. There it is. And this might make it a little easier to see. We'll put the radar back up. Let me turn the lightning off. And you can see we have an active tornado warning now. This is in effect till 6:30. That's the storm. Copperfield Cypress area, 290. There's Beltway 8 just entering the Jersey Village area now. But now see the red box? That includes the immediate Houston area. So all neighborhoods coming in 290 all the way into the 610 loop and into downtown, you're included in that tornado warning. This is racing southeast at 60 miles an hour. So this is going to be on you very quickly. Anywhere inside the Beltway, 290 to the 610 loop, all neighborhoods in here all the way into downtown, you need to take cover now. This is the Memorial area, the Memorial Villages. This is Jersey Village, all the way into the Houston Heights to downtown Houston. That's where that storm is headed, basically right down 290. So this is going to be into downtown here in the next very few minutes, and I'll update a storm track on this so you can get a little better view of the timing. Interior room of your home away from windows is where you want to be. That's the safest place. Let me update that right on the leading edge. So here's the latest timing on this. This reaches Addicks by 6:20, Spring Valley by 6:28. Again, that's our rotation. There it is racing southeast. There's 290. That's the Beltway right there, Beltway 8. That's the 610 loop. This is racing in right towards Spring Valley. Reaches you by 6:28. Hunters Creek by 6:30. And downtown Houston by 6:37. Kim, this storm not only has stayed intense, but it seems to be accelerating, now moving southeast at about 60 miles an hour.
David, this is about as strong of a storm as I've seen, and it's headed straight for the city center. The wind with this storm is dangerous. I mean, we're looking at signatures at 50, 60, even 100 miles an hour when you look at those deeper blues. And I actually had this right over the blue, but it's moving so fast that it just picks up on the residual wind behind it. But look at this hail signature too. So the storm tracking rotation, wind, and hail. North of Cypress, baseball-sized hail right in the center of it, at least golf ball size, with this storm that's in motion and again tracking fast towards the east at 60 miles an hour. An active tornado warning now extended through 6:45, and this includes downtown Houston. Here's the big picture of the bowed out echo that's perpetuated several tornado warnings, now one for the loop in the Beltway. Heights area is going to be impacted here shortly. Roslyn seeing the brunt of this storm here in the next couple of minutes. Right now passing through Jersey Village. So putting a storm track on the strength of the center of the storm. It's going into downtown here in the next 10 to 15 minutes. Passing through Sugar Land at 6:26, Missouri City 6:28, Hobby Airport 6:33. So all of Harris County about to be impacted by this major storm producing 80 to 100, even 115 mile an hour winds, as we've been tracking on velocity. large amounts of rain and hail, not to mention this couplet that is spinning. In the Cypress area, you can see there's a couplet right there that's spinning, and this is behind the main impacts that's already passed through here. In fact, it's hard to keep up with the storm. It's moving very fast, 60 miles an hour, and over the last hour loop, you'll notice how it's maintained its rotation, it's maintained its size, and it's just increased in speed, which means there's very little time for you to get to that safe space, which is an interior room. It means, sorry, what was that from the producer? Okay, we've got team coverage here. Weather meteorologist Chris Ramirez. He's also keeping a close eye on the storm. Chris, it's just been intensifying over the last hour. Stronger wind, more hail, more damage potential.
Yes, and now the National Weather Service is saying that we could see 80-mile-an-hour winds with this storm as it makes its way through the Houston area. So just keep in mind that it's not going to take much, maybe 70 to 80, to cause some destruction and some widespread damage as we go into the next several hours. But to kind of look at what that rotation is looking at right now, we're seeing this wind now, this damaging winds now approaching Jersey Village, even Spring Valley, where you're seeing those blue colors. That is when we're seeing that 70-mile-an-hour, 80-mile-an-hour winds, and this is headed towards the center of Houston inside the Beltway. So something to keep in mind that if you anywhere in Houston, not really a good idea to be out on the roadways. You want to seek shelter from this storm as we go into the next 30 minutes to an hour. And of course, we're still tracking the potential for this tornado warning that's now still in effect. That does include downtown Houston, as we very well could see some damaging winds as well as some large hail with that storm. So as that continues to track off towards the southeast, that's moving at around 60 miles an hour. So this is a very fast moving storm as we go into the next hour or so. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what we're looking at in terms of wind speeds right now. This is looking at the West Beltway near I-10. This is near Memorial City, south of Jersey Village. We're seeing close to 80 to 90 mile an hour winds with this as it makes its way into our northeastern area. So if you are in northwest Houston, even around near Antoine, Highland Heights, Hawthorne Place, even portions of the Heights, you're now going to start seeing these damaging winds make their way into the center of town, going into the next possibly 10 to 15 minutes. So wherever you see the blue colors, that is the damaging wind speeds, and they are moving into Houston at the current moment, but we are still tracking at the potential for this tornado that could be possible with this storm as it's continuing its southward motion. I'm going to go ahead and send it over to Chief Meteorologist David Paul for more information.
Well, and just looking at what you're showing, Chris, you know, if this is not producing a tornado, it is most certainly producing damaging straight line winds that can do damage like a weak tornado. Winds of 70 to 80 miles an hour. You're talking about EF0, EF1 winds. And so this is very strong and a very damaging storm system, irregardless of whether or not it actually ends up producing a tornado. What you're looking at is the Doppler part of Doppler radar. These blue colors are racing toward the radar site in League City. And that bright blue indicates winds in excess of 70 to 80 miles an hour. That's raced through Copperfield, now racing through Jersey Village, now pushing right into the Memorial Villages right in here. So you've got Bingle and Voss, and that's I-10 right there. That's going to push into the Memorial area south of I-10 as well. It's moving in right now. You can expect wind damage here. And so that's why we're saying, tornado or not, that type of wind, interior room of your home, first floor, away from windows, away from the exterior walls, in an interior bathroom, in an interior closet, in an interior hallway. That's the place to be to stay as safe as you can. This is racing southeast at about 60 miles an hour. It is just a leading edge. Look at this, is just reaching the 610 loop at I-10. So that's going to race into the Houston Heights, Memorial Park, downtown Houston, right through the Montrose area very quickly. Let me update the radar. What we'll do is we'll stop this and let's just zoom in real tight. So there's the leading edge of the straight line winds. That's 290 at Mangum you're looking at, by the way. That is blinding rain. It looks like traffic, if it's moving very, very slowly. Leading edge of the strongest winds right here. So it reaches Lamar Terrace by 626, Houston downtown by 628. It's just about there into downtown Houston. So we're looking at 290 in the West Loop. That's the video you have there. Blinding rain, wind, lightning, and thunder. Not safe to be out. Strong winds now reaching Spring Valley, Hunters Creek. Just about to reach, just now reaching the 610 loop at 290 and I-10. So there's the northwest side of the 610 loop. There's 290. There's I-10. And you see Spring Valley and Hunters Creek already in on those very strong winds. The leading edge of those winds have now moved inside the 610 loop, coming right down I-10, right through Memorial Park right now. There's Shepherd Drive. So folks in the Heights, folks in the Montrose, folks in downtown, take cover now. This is just moments away. What now appears to be straight line winds that may gust, yeah, and that's a view outside the Channel 11 studios right now. That's Westheimer at Chimney Rock. And that is going to do some damage. That's going to knock down some tree limbs. Though you're looking at winds outside right now, 60 to 70 miles an hour as the leading edge of that gust front blows through. So that video is what this display looks like in real life. The display looks like this, and you see the winds outside just bending the trees. Winds in excess of 60 to 70 miles an hour. Again, racing east. There's I-10, 610 loop, the northwest side of the 610 loop. There's 290. So again, the heart of the Houston Heights. There's Shepherd, Montrose. That's racing toward you as well. Downtown, midtown, uptown. All you guys are going to get hit by these straight line winds, and they are just howling outside. That live picture you're looking at is just outside the Channel 11 studios. We're here on Westheimer at Chimney Rock. You do not want to be out in that right now. Very strong winds, whipping the trees and the rain. It's just blinding rain right now. So right along the leading edge of that line of storms, that's the type of wind. So again, there's the 610 loop. So that picture you're looking at, we're just right there, just south here. I'll move it. I'll show you exactly what it looks like. And Kim Castro, you know, it looks like this may be morphing into now a straight line wind threat. You know, that's what this is looking like. I'm not seeing a nearly as tight a couplet, but now it looks like this is the type, and clearly what we're seeing on the pictures outside, we're talking about straight line winds just roaring through the heart of the Houston area. So the Memorial area, Memorial Park, the Heights, Montrose, downtown, midtown, uptown, that's all racing east. So Edo, this is going to come right through downtown. You guys on the east side, you're going to get hit by this. And Kim Castro, it now looks clear, more clear from what we're seeing on the pictures and now the radar signature, that this, at least for the moment, looks like a very serious straight line wind threat.
That's exactly what it looks like outside, David. I just peeked out the window, and the rain and the force that it's being pushed at, it looks like truly a river of water, but it's a river of rain being propelled by the wind. I'm hearing the sirens going. We lost power about 2 minutes ago. The power flashed off and then back on. Yeah, these storms are very, very strong. I lost my monitor there, so I'm going to check this way. But look at Brookhaven. You're going to be impacted here in the next 10 minutes. These storms, the heart of them are very, very strong with the wind and the potential for hail too. Brookhaven, it's headed towards you, 637. Hobby Airport, 642. The wind outside, just looking at it, makes you want to take action, and an active tornado warning means go ahead and get to the center of your home in an interior space. I'm talking about a bathroom or a closet when you have multiple walls protecting you from these wind impacts. David, look at the strength of that camera shot right there. That is right outside the KHOU studios. I walk into work looking at those trees every single day. I've never seen them in the vertical like that. 70, 80, 90 to 100 miles an hour of wind with the straight line that's passing through the area and the potential for rotation with these storms too. Look at it. Instead of standing at the horizontal, they're at, rather than being at the vertical, they're at the horizontal rather. Look at those trees, how they're being pushed by the strength of the wind. 80 to 100 mile an hour winds. That's the impact that they produce. The doors that are typically closed, flung open, and look at the density of that rain. That tells you the amount of rain that's coming down, the amount of force that's propelling that rain to move sideways, the flashes of lightning, the loss of the power, the intensity of these storms is something that is very dangerous for us to be in right now. So be very, very careful. A lot of cars out on the road. Go to a safe space. Go to a parking structure. Do not be out on the roads. If you have a live broadcast somewhere on your phone, make sure you park your car and seek shelter. Look at that. It looks like a bucket of water is being dumped down. It looks like a sauna, actually. And that's the rain and the force of the wind pushing those trees into the horizontal. David, these storms,
wow,
we do not see them like this very often, especially not at the heart of the city where we're seeing them right now.
Just amazing. Okay, just to set your bearings at home, it's the bottom of the hour. We're 6:30. We're in continuing team coverage with severe weather rolling across the heart of the Houston area. We have winds, straight line winds blowing through the heart of downtown right now. 60, 70, 80, 90, approaching 100 miles an hour in some spots, and this is knocking out power. We had a report of a total outages at about 160,000. I can guarantee you we are going to see that number quadruple. Yeah, now I'm hearing 185. It will be, we're going to have hundreds of thousands without power with wind like that coming across the heart of Houston right now. This is a product called vertically integrated liquid. It indicates hail. Not only are we getting wind, but hail with this is a significant threat as it approaches the downtown Houston area. Again, all of that racing to the east at about 60 miles an hour, and that's the leading edge of the strong winds now pushing into downtown right now through Montrose, through the Memorial area, through the Westheimer area, pushing into the Houston Heights with winds gusting, we believe, radar estimated in excess of 90 to 100 miles an hour. It may not be quite that strong at the surface, but you can see what this is doing to the trees outside. As Kim explained a little bit ago, it looks like a river just being blown through the atmosphere as this straight line wind threat races across Houston right now. And yeah, so you're talking about winds that are Category 1 hurricane force. That's what we're experiencing right now with this line of thunderstorms pushing through the heart of downtown. Let me give you a closer view exactly where these storms are and where they're headed next. First of all, we'll zoom right in. Tornado warning is in effect. This is now a signature of a straight line wind event. And you can see just reaching in, pushing into downtown now. So everybody in the Houston Heights, in the Memorial area, Memorial Park, in the Montrose area, in downtown, you're getting it now. Bel Air, you guys are getting very strong winds as well. There's I-45 as it cuts through downtown, so that's where the leading edge of those winds are. So that will very quickly be pushing east. So everybody in Edo, you're going to get these winds pushing in, and they're gusting 70, 80, 90 miles an hour. Wallaceville Road is here. There's I-10 heading east. There's Clinton Drive, Scott Street. You're just on the leading edge of that as you push into downtown. And again, these winds out ahead of that leading edge, racing to the east in a straight line at about 70, 80 to 90 miles an hour. And that is knocking out a big swath of power in its path. Let me clear that. We will zoom out. We'll put a storm track on this. Again, the whole mess racing east at about 60. There's the leading edge. We are racing east-southeast. Yeah, and that number, a little bit ago we had 180 without power. 180,000 was the number a little bit ago. Now we're up to 350,000 being reported without power. That number is going to go higher. We're going to have 1 million people without power by the time this is all said and done, because this is moving right through the heart of the Houston area. This leading edge right here through downtown, pushing into Edo right now, reaches Brookhaven by 6:32, Hobby Airport by 6:38, Jacinto City by 6:38, Pasadena, this reaches you by 6:43. So Pasadena, the leading edge with these winds gusting to 80 and 90, reaching you in just a few minutes by 6:43. Deer Park by 6:46, reaches Channelview by 6:47, and the Highlands by 6:53. Again, that right there, that's the leading edge of these straight line winds that have knocked out power to almost 400,000 now, and that number is continuing to grow as they race across the heart of the Houston area. Shern Min's in the weather tracker. Shern Min, that is blinding rain. How are the roads doing? Be careful out there.
Oh, everybody is going slow and steady, and as you can see from our traffic cam, if you will, from the weather tracker cam, I should say, a lot of people are driving with their flashers on, and that has been sort of the standard operating procedure, I'd guess, for the last hour or more, as we have kind of chased this storm. We've been up and down I-45 north. We started in Harris County, went north up through Montgomery, up into Walker County. We were north of Huntsville, and then we turned around and we are now headed southbound. We are probably just about south of Humble right now, and the traffic at this point, we're going maybe 30-ish miles an hour or so. And just a quick note, this is one of the many times I am very grateful I am not the one driving. Our photographer Ivan Gibson here has been manning the wheel and doing a fantastic job. I have to tell you, we ran through one of those, high water spots where people were very seriously, I would guess there was some hydroplaning going around, and we smashed some high water too. And in the lane right next to us, one of those traffic signs, I think they put them up for temporary road work, had blown over and was lying in the left lane, and another vehicle, a truck in front of us, had to swerve to the right and kind of clipped and bit into our lane while we were dealing with high water and, spraying water. So it was a little bit of a nail biter right there, but a good reminder to everybody to drive carefully, drive very slowly, and if you don't have to be, obviously, try to avoid. A lot of folks here, I'm betting, coming back from work, not kind of anticipating this kind of weather coming through at the end of the day.
Yeah,
but
Sherman,
as you can see, it is very heavy as it comes down.
Sherman, you're on I-45. You're heading south, I presume.
Yes.
Yeah, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go over to the Hunters Creek area. Get over to I-10, just west of the 610 loop. The Memorial Villages in there, Gessner and Bingle, just north of I-10. I bet you're going to see a lot of tree and limb damage there. That's where the heart of these winds came through. If you could get over there and give us a report in a little bit, I would appreciate that. Be very safe on the roads out there. They've just extended the tornado warning, so we've added a new batch to it, which includes southeast Harris County now. Let me give you an update on that. This is in effect until 7 o'clock. Southeast Harris County includes a little bit of northern Brazoria and northern Galveston County. That, again, will be in effect now until 7 o'clock. This includes the Pasadena area. This includes Genoa. So Hobby Airport area, you're included in that as well as the leading edge of this line of intense thunderstorms that could spin up a tornado with very little warning. Continues race across the area. The pictures you're looking at there, that is, again, that's our Westheimer studio. This is Westheimer at Chimney Rock. The winds, believe it or not, the winds have died down a little bit, and they're still bending the trees out there. How is it looking outside the studio?
Oh my goodness, it is looking really intense. You mentioned that the winds have died down, but the power has gone off to the building, so we haven't been able to lock these doors. So crews and people have been coming and using zip ties. I don't know if you can hear the wind. You can hear it whistling. That gives you an idea of just how powerful the wind is. As you can see the wind, the rain, it's pushing those trees sideways. We had a couple people in here wondering, should I leave? Should I try to make it home? No, you should definitely stay put. But thankfully, so far the winds have died down, but they are still very much intense. Again, drawing your attention to the doors with the zip ties. They've had to put multiple zip ties on that door because one zip tie has not been able to hold it. All of these doors have been popping open and open and open. And so we're just waiting it out with the rest of you, but very intense. And you can hear that whistling. I don't know if you can hear that. I'm going to be quiet for just a second to see if you can hear it. it just went away. But there's a whistling noise, powerful wind and powerful rain. So definitely something to be aware of, and you definitely do not want to be outside in this. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you for the report. Stay inside. We can hear it, by the way. We absolutely can hear the howling out there as the winds whip through our Westheimer studio. That's the leading edge of that line of thunderstorms with these straight line winds right there that have been gusting 60, 70, 80, up to 90 miles an hour. We've knocked out power to, we're up to about 400,000 at last check. I think that's going to go higher. Almost 500,000 now. I'm just getting the update from my producer. Thank you. So we're reached about 500,000 now across the Houston area without power. I expect that number to go higher. You can see the storm racing across the Houston area. We're going to zoom in. So that's the leading edge of the wind. This is just about to reach, just hitting Galena Park now, just hitting Park Place now. That's the east side of the 610 loop right there. There's I-10. Oates Prairie, the leading edge of that strong damaging wind, reaches your neighborhood right now. Beaumont Place, it's not far. In Beaumont Place, take cover right now. Winds are going to gust 60, 70, 80, 90 miles an hour possible through Beaumont Place. Again, there's the east side of the 610 loop, Park Place, Galena Park. There's Pasadena. Those strong winds are just moments away from reaching your neighborhood in Pasadena. Channel View, again, racing down I-10. You're looking at weather tracker from downtown Houston right now where the wind and rain is just howling. So that's the leading edge. That's the leading edge of these damaging winds right there. Hobby Airport to Park Place to Galena Park to Oates Prairie to Beaumont Place. There's Highway 90. That's the northeast side of the Beltway. So out here in the Greens Bayou watershed, West Mount Houston Road, you're going to want to take cover for winds that could gust 80 to 90 as that races through. There's Wallaceville Road. That line of storms reaching right for you. And again, this is a great example of why you just do not want to go out on this. Do not go out on the roads right now. Stay home. Look at the water, just like a waterfall, spilling off one of the overpasses here in the Houston area. The rain is just blinding and the wind is ferocious and damaging. We do have an active tornado warning for Southeast Texas, for Southeast Harris County. Includes Hobby Airport, Pasadena area, Channel View, Oates Prairie, Beaumont Place. The radar signature, that suggests it's straight line wind damage. But on these very powerful straight lines with the wind howling at 80 to 90, you can get these little tornadoes that spin up right on the leading edge. They come and go very quickly, and that's where you can get focused damage, like significant roof damage or fence damage, and that can blow and knock out a window. And that's why we're urging everyone to take cover in interior room of your home, away from exterior walls, away from exterior windows. That's the safest place to be. Again, that's our Westheimer studio where the wind just continues. It just will not let up. We've got 500,000 without power. Look, if you're in Channel View right now, if you're in Pasadena right now, expect the power to go out. If it doesn't go out, you'll be lucky. Kim Castro, this looks like, although we have an active tornado warning, straight line winds, this is going to cause significant damage. Already 500,000 plus without power.
Yeah, you could see how defined that line is on radar, showing us how these storms are bowing out and pushing that wind from downtown Houston into San Jacinto now. 80 to 90 mile an hour winds. About 5 minutes ago when I was looking at this, we had one detection of 115 mile an hour winds. So when we talk about hurricane force impacts, not just category 1, but category 2 when it comes to this kind of wind that we're seeing picking up on radar right now. So yes, an active tornado warning now through 7 o'clock, and it's been pushed from downtown Houston closer to League City. So this storm is holding its strength. It's barreling through with a lot of force, mainly from the wind, but some torrential downpours that are going to cause major issues for anybody that wanted to travel today. We are advising that you please stay inside as these storms roll through. So the first tornado warning here for downtown Houston, Harris County, the loop and the Beltway, that's set to expire here in a couple minutes because the storm is moving so fast and racing closer towards the bay. Here's our signatures of rotation. So the rotation with this first batch of storms. Now a little bit further north towards Jersey Village. Now this second one showing a little spin in the atmosphere just south of Galena Park. So this is why, even though we're seeing major straight line wind impacts, like David was talking about, we could see one of these couplets form from the straight line wind as it passes from downtown Houston closer to Hobby Airport towards Deer Park and continuing to push towards the bay. So Baytown is going to get hit here in a couple of minutes. It's seeing the filling in of the rain right now. So light to moderate, then it'll get hit with rounds of heavy rain. Then eventually it's going to get hit by this bow echo, straight line winds, 80, 90, even 100 miles an hour. So I put a storm track on the brunt of the storm. So the heaviest wind impact, the core of the system. Here's the timeline, 6:45, so happening now. Hobby Airport, Berkside Village a few minutes after that, and then racing 60 miles an hour towards the southeast. Baytown, 6:53. It's time to go inside. It's time to warn any family members that were here, any boaters that typically reside in Kemah, for example. Get to an inside structure. You do not want to be in any mobile location at this moment in time, especially with the force of the wind. I can hear that rain, not just coming down, but how it's getting swept up. Here's a live look right outside the KHOU studios. This is our Westheimer camera looking out at the Galleria. You can't see anything. We're talking about blinding rain, so much moisture in the atmosphere, and all that rain being pushed out by the force of the straight line winds, 70, 80, 90 miles an hour. Here's a look all across southeast Texas. It looks like our Hotel Zaza camera is down. I'm not surprised. We're going to see a lot of power outages like David was talking about, and more mounting as the line of storms continues to pass through the area. Galveston Island in the calm right now before this starts to race closer and closer to you. You look at the shot of the botanical gardens and you look at the impacts from the trees shaking around. But David, and is that a little hail that I'm seeing too? Yep, I'm seeing some bouncing from the hail in the camera shot right there.
Yeah, we're gonna take a look at the hail track here in just a second, but that is exactly one of the many threats with this. The straight line wind damage is the biggest threat. We got 500,000 without power. That's the storm cell that came all the way out of central Texas and is now just racing through the heart of Houston and southeast Texas. We've got winds in the straight line format gusting to 80, 90, 100 miles an hour. Again, that's Cat 1 approaching Cat 2 wind speeds. I'm talking about hurricane force. And that can certainly happen with a line of thunderstorm like that. Now, what you're looking at in the picture off to my left is we've got these huge metal transmission towers. They have come down. This is from Vera, my Houston family. Please be safe. This is from the Cypress area. So we have some of the heavy, big aluminum transmission lines that have come down in northwest Harris County in the Cypress area. I can tell you when that happens, you are going to be without power up there in the Cypress area for a very long time. This could go on for many, many days before they get that restored when one of the main transmission lines goes down. That'll be a story that we keep up with, but that's how strong these winds are. So let me show you where these winds are headed. First of all, that is an active tornado warning for southeast Harris County. Yes, Baytown. That includes you as that storm is racing toward Baytown and Mont Bellevue and League City and the north side of the bay. You need to take cover now. Interior room of your home, away from windows, surface, lowest floor of your home or business. You want to just get as much structure around you, around the home or business as you can, and away from the walls and windows. So if a tree does come down, you have more of the home to protect you from that falling debris. This is the Doppler part of Doppler radar. What we can see here are the winds. That's the leading edge of that wind damage. It's racing. Now it's reached the east side of the Beltway 8 at Highway 225. Okay, I'm seeing damage. Where are we? This is downtown. Lamar and Travis downtown. We've got debris on the roadway. Something has fallen in the winds that have blown to downtown. Again, that's a live picture from our weather tracker at Lamar and Travis. Here's the leading edge of those damaging winds. Reaching Channel View now, pushed into Pasadena now, Red Bluff Road outside of the Beltway 8. That's where the leading edge is. Cody, Bayway Drive, Baytown, LaPorte, Shore Acres. Again, Cody, Baytown, LaPorte, Shore Acres. That's the leading edge of those damaging winds. You want to take cover now. Not only is this a straight line wind threat, winds gusting 70, 80, 90 miles an hour, but along the leading edge of a line of storms and wind like that, you can get little tornadoes that focus that energy. And that's why the tornado warning is in effect, along with this significant straight line wind threat, which is just about to reach Cody, Baytown, LaPorte, Shore Acres. You know, Mont Bellevue, you're right there. There's FM 565. So this is going to reach the north side of the bay here in just the next few minutes. Take cover now. Shore Acres, LaPorte, Baytown, Cody to Mont Bellevue. And let me zoom out. Let's get just a little bigger view so you can see your neighborhood. We'll pan down. So Friendswood, you know, that's knocking on your door. There's Dixie Farm Road. That's the leading edge of the damaging wind. Friendswood, just about to reach your neighborhood there. There's I-45. Grissom Road, where it crosses I-45. There's League City. That's going to graze you, League City. I would definitely bring in loose items quickly. You want to do it quick and then take cover until that wind passes through. It really means business. We had gusts out here in our Channel 11 studios on Westheimer at Chimney Rock. Looks like gusted to about 80 or 90. And our power's knocked out. We're on generator power running right now. A little further north, still some strong winds up here as well. So Highway 90, Barrett, very strong winds are going to graze you as well. Mont Bellevue, you're in the path of that. That's going to graze Mont Bellevue as well, with very gusty wind that, again, is knocking out power. We've got those major transmission lines that have been knocked over in the Cypress area. Just gives you a good idea of how strong that is. What I'm going to do is I'll pause this, and we'll put a storm track on the leading edge so we can set our bearings, and let's see when this is going to reach. Let me make sure I've got the right speed. Yes. So this is moving east at 60 miles an hour. So here's the heart of the wind damage. Racing east. Move that right there. Okay, there's the leading edge. Here's our storm track. So those straight line winds, the leading edge reaches Deer Park right about now. Seabrook, 10 minutes from now, 6:59. Leading edge reaches League City by 7 o'clock. Dickinson by 7:07, San Leon by 7:10, Anahuac by 7:19. So the north and west side of Galveston Bay, you want to take cover from that, and you can see the camera shaking. That's Highway 225. That's LaPorte East Freeway at Allen Genoa. Baytown, that's what's knocking on your door. These are straight line winds of 60, 70, 80, at times estimated near 90. We already know they've been strong enough to knock transmission lines, the big towers down in the Cypress area. And so that's what's pushing through. Expect the power to be knocked out. It's blinding rain. Traffic looks like it's almost at a standstill. I see everybody with their flashers on. Again, that live picture, Highway 225 at Allen Genoa, the Baytown East Freeway. This is downtown. Where this tree came from, I'm not sure, but it was blown by the wind and now lays across the road in downtown Houston. That's Sherman Chow, our weather tracker. So debris, if you've got debris like that in downtown, that's Travis at McKinney, by the way. That's exactly where she is. Travis at McKinney downtown. There are going to be limbs and trees knocked down just all over the place as this has come through the heart of the Houston area and southeast Texas. So there's the leading edge of the wind, reaching Deer Park right now, racing east at 60. Dickinson, Seabrook, LaPorte, Baytown, Mont Bellevue, all you guys need to take cover from wind that is doing destructive damage as it races through neighborhoods. Okay, we're getting damage in from Waller County. Tell me that again. We got it. Something's. Okay. Okay. Just let me know when he's ready, okay? Okay, so the emergency manager from Waller County on the phone with us. Oh, Chris. Okay, Chris has the information. Chris, what damage report do we have from Waller County?
Yeah, of course, the Waller County Sheriff's Office is reporting of homes damaged as well as power lines down all over the county. We were definitely seeing these 80 to 90 mile an hour wind gusts still continuing across the Houston area. They're saying that there's no reports of injuries due to the weather, and they also don't know if they saw a tornado or not out in Waller County. But so we're slowly starting to get these damage reports trickling into the KHOU 11 newsroom, but we're still dealing with torrential rain across the Houston area as this continues off towards the east. It looks extremely dark outside. Just keep in mind that sunset is not really until 8:04. So if you're seeing how dark it looks outside, that's really an indication of just really these storms packing a punch and them being fairly high in the atmosphere. But definitely expecting this to continue. It looks more likely that we're still seeing these 70 to 80 mile an hour wind gusts with this storm as it makes its way through Channelview as well as Baytown. So there's really not much weakening really indicated, or we're not really seeing signs of this weakening as this damaging winds, these straight line wind gusts are still continuing through the Houston area. I can only imagine definitely roadways are definitely probably at a standstill across our major highways. So something that we're currently tracking, we are still under that severe thunderstorm warning for Houston. They did expire that tornado warning for downtown Houston. We're still tracking that tornado warned area that does include portions of eastern Harris County, which includes Baytown, includes just north of Highway 225, as we are very well could still see some rotation with that. Of course, I'm going to go ahead and toss it over to meteorologist Kim Castro for more information.
Yeah, if you're just joining us now, perhaps you're just starting to see the impacts approaching your area. You live along the bay. We're under an active tornado warning, at least for the next 6 minutes or so. This potentially could get extended. We also have severe thunderstorm warnings. Basically, the main threat that you need to watch for right now is the wind, whether it's coming at you at a straight line fashion or it's rotating. It doesn't matter. It is very, very strong. 80 to 90 miles an hour right now. We're also seeing some hail signatures on radar too. Honing in on the areas that are about to be impacted right now: Baytown, LaPorte, and Short Acres. You see this bright spot there in Channelview, the bright turquoise? That's giving us the signatures of the 90 mile an hour wind. So that's going to be pushing into your neighborhood. It's moving at a jog of 55 miles an hour straight to the east. So coming towards you. Here's the timeline for when it's going to get to your neighborhood. So Baytown happening in the next couple of minutes. Beach City 7:02, Smith Point 7:14. A few minutes after that, Anahuac 7:20, and right around 7:30, the Bolivar Peninsula. So again, racing very, very fast with a lot of intensity. Here's a loop as to what we've been seeing over the last hour or so. So you'll notice there was a couplet that was very consolidated. That's why we've had these tornado warnings. And now it's expanded to this big swath of heavy wind impacts that stretches from Mont Belvieu just north of League City. So everybody is going to feel this wind pushing through. The reason why we're honing in on the northern portion of the bay is that's where we've got that tornado warning active right now. So that's the central point of the storm where we're going to see the biggest impacts. Notice behind that, still seeing a very active radar. So heavy rain and wind still going on all along the loop in the Beltway, which is why we're asking you to please avoid travel at least for the next hour or so. Even though these storms are moving fast, we're still seeing residual impacts behind the main punch, behind the main straight line wind that has given us 80 to 90 miles an hour. Here's a live look right now outside of the KHOU studio. So we're on Westheimer and Chimney Rock. So this is looking out at the Galleria. This is the view. It is very saturated with the wind and the rain. So it's making for this very milky look outside of our cameras. We're seeing frequent flashes of lightning, taking out transformers. Taking out the power, though, is the brunt of the wind. You'll notice how it's pushing. Instead of seeing the streamline of rain in the horizontal, we're seeing it We're seeing it very much sideways, pushing through the area. A live look over southeast Texas right now. So Botanical Gardens still looking at the rain, still looking at some wind. That's the Galleria shot that shows the milky haze. Hotel Zaza cameras back up and it has frequent lightning. And then Galveston is getting ready to feel these impacts. Any one of these storm cells could produce rotation. We're under a tornado watch at least through 10 o'clock. Severe thunderstorm warning for the entirety of the evening too, and we're watching the impacts of the rain too. We've got team coverage here with Chief Meteorologist David Paul and Chris Ramirez. This is going to be an evening that gives us a lot of pause for a long time, not just during the storm, but after the storm passes. David, you've been talking about how many power outages are mounting, and then of course the rain that comes along with it too.
Yeah, Chris and Kim, good evening to you both, and good evening everybody. Again, we continue our severe weather coverage as this line of damaging thunderstorms has and continues to race across Houston and southeast Texas. One of the biggest takeaways so far is that this line has knocked over the big metal transmission lines, part of that line, up in the Cypress area in northwest Harris County as it blew through. We know we've had at least 500,000 people without power. That number may grow. And with main transmissions lines knocked over in the Cypress area, those big ones that come out of the power transmission plant out there, power may be out to some folks in the Cypress area for quite some time. Here's the radar loop. This goes over the past hour. That storm has raced from Brenham all the way to League City in an hour, racing east at about 70 miles an hour. That's all the lightning and thunder coming across the area. What I want to do is turn off all the radar, turn off the lightning and the rain. These are all the active warnings across southeast Texas. All of these are flood warnings across our northern counties. You want to stay off the roads in Walker County, Polk and San Jacinto County. Again, these same areas hit so hard the past couple of weeks, have had more heavy rain. 2 to 4 inches of rain has fallen up here. There are multiple areas with high water spots on the roads and secondary roads, especially low water crossings. And in the day or two to come, we're going to see a lot of that rain funnel into Lake Livingston, and below Lake Livingston, we may see additional rises on the Trinity. We'll be keeping up with that in the coming days. All the yellow boxes are severe thunderstorm warnings. That warning continues in effect for East Harris County, Chambers County, and Southwest Liberty County. Now, I noticed they've just taken down the red box, which was our active tornado warning, but hold on, it's the top of the hour, and they may be about to reissue that. For the moment, it's a severe thunderstorm warning for Baytown and Mont Belvieu. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break from the TV side. We're going to continue this on web and KHOU 11 Plus and our digital side. You can follow the weather update there. What we're going to do here is, since the tornado warning has allowed to expire, we're going to go to Young Sheldon's finale, and you can continue the weather coverage with us live on our digital platforms. We'll be right back on digital here in just a moment. Power outages, wind damage, trees down, major transmission lines down. That is going to take some time to repair.
And a lot of plans changed. We just received word that the KHOU High School graduation has been postponed until tomorrow, which is very wise, not just because of the storms that passed through, and now we are starting to see a little clearing in the Katy area, but because of the residual damage. We're talking about multiple spots, thousands, potentially up to 1 million, like David's been warning about, with power outage implications through the night and potentially into the coming days. Right now, a severe thunderstorm warning that we're tracking at least through 7:15, and that includes the Mont Belvieu, Baytown area. So this is a loop over velocity, so you'll notice how the storm has progressed. So it had a couplet near Cypress, and now it's widened its reflectivity. So that turquoise color from Mont Belvieu to Baytown, that is the straight line impact damage. And you'll notice a little bit of rotation there too. Now this is a look at the live radar. A tremendous amount of rain coming down too, not just the wind, but that's the most impactful severe component that we have right now. If I take you out wide and track how many lightning strikes we've seen in just the last 10 minutes, 1,500 of them. The differentiator between negative and positive strikes, positive are 10 times stronger than the negative ones, and that's because they come from the top of these thunderstorm cells. These storms are 30 to 40,000 feet in height, a couple of them up to 60,000. So imagine all of that length of travel shows how strong they are. So 10 times stronger, positive strikes than negative, and the count is significantly larger for positive strikes, meaning these storms still have a lot of strength as they're passing through Baytown, moving across the northern portion of the bay. They'll resurface as they get to the Bolivar Peninsula. So what are we looking at within the severe thunderstorm warning? A tornado possibility. Regardless, very damaging wind. So 70-mile-an-hour wind within the whole swath of this bow echo that we're tracking here. Now, certain spots could see peaks of wind at 80 to 90 miles an hour. So again, this is hurricane force wind that's coming to your neighborhood right now. Not to mention, radar is also picking up on a hail signature too. So that could be another severe component that we track right now. The rotation potential in Mont Belvieu, we're not seeing that very pronounced on the velocity signature. What we are seeing is definitely bright batches of color, which does signal the potential of 70-mile-an-hour winds. So these are hard to pinpoint because this is moving so fast. It's moving at around 55 miles an hour straight to the east. So every time I put a little signature on there, it's already passed through the area. But notice the juxtaposition, 9 miles an hour there near Anahuac, and then towards Mont Belvieu, where we've got the heart of the storm, the straight line wind, 70 miles an hour, just about. You'll notice the batches of heavy wind impacts, heavy rain impacts right now north of LaPorte, headed towards Beach City. Here's another look at the severe thunderstorm warning right now for Baytown, Fort League City. Heavy rain, lightning, but especially wind damage, which is what we're concerned with. So passing through Anahuac here in the next 10 minutes. I showed you how calm the wind is now. Boy, it's about to pick up the pace very, very fast in 10 minutes. That's when you're going to see the heart of the storm passing through the Bolivar Peninsula within the next 20 minutes. So Dave, these storms are moving incredibly fast. It has been a very busy last 2 hours for us once these picked up in our far northwestern cities and counties. You were watching that closely. You were seeing that tornado warning that first popped up just outside of the area, and that really foreshadowed what followed suit for us.
It held together all the way across the Houston area, all the way from Fayette and Lee County out in here, and has tracked all the way now to the north side of Galveston Bay. We've got damage really all over the place right now. This is downtown Houston. Those are windows that have been blown out of the downtown buildings in places. Our Jason Miles is live downtown. Jason, where are you? And what does the street look like below all that broken glass?
Hey, David, here we're currently at Dallas and Louisiana. That is Total Energies, the building you were just looking at. You see all this glass and other debris on the street. In fact, we were roaming around downtown, saw trees, insulation, some construction-looking debris, some trash cans in the streets, and then we got over to this area and saw what you're looking at now. Sergio, are you on the? Yeah. This is coincidentally, or ironically perhaps, CenterPoint Energy Tower, the energy company's headquarters in downtown Houston, where multiple windows have been blown out on the lobby level, and as you can see in upper floors as well. Looking from where we are standing, it looks to be the most heavily damaged building, and you can hear the fire trucks and other emergency vehicles in the area as well. I can tell you several intersections are blocked off, traffic lights not working. Meantime, there's an Astros game going on, so you have people downtown among the other events perhaps taking place tonight as well. So traffic kind of a nightmare right now as we have broken glass and other debris thanks to these windows in the towers being blown out because of this incident tonight. I was looking at some of the tree damage, and I know straight line winds compared to tornadoes and things, and I'm not a meteorologist or any kind of expert, but some of the trees we saw in this particular area at least were kind of twisted rather than just blown over. I'm not sure what that means, but I know in the past covering these kinds of incidents, you have circulation as opposed to straight line winds, but I guess we'll wait and see what's going on. David?
Oh, Jason, absolutely. That's a great observation. Absolutely. Along a line of wind like that, when you're getting straight line winds coming in at 60, 70, 80, 90 miles an hour, you absolutely can have many little tornadoes. We call them gust-nados that can fire up along the leading edge of that line of thunderstorms. And they absolutely are little tornadoes. They come and go very, very quickly. That's why not only did we have a severe thunderstorm warning, but we had this tornado warning that was carried all the way across southeast Texas as that line was racing through. One of the things that happened downtown is we had an Astros game that was forecast to kick off at 7 o'clock tonight, but Aniele, the fans who were lining up outside, were hit right as the heart of this storm was coming through.
David, they were making me very anxious because the winds were blowing. We could feel our car shaking and fans were still running towards the game. Fortunately, they made it in safely, obviously drenched, but I want to show you, we're actually downtown, just like we mentioned, right next to the courthouse. Let me show you this down tree right here. Look at this. This is blown into a parking garage right here. It's huge. Let me also show you how lucky this truck got. You see this truck right here? Look at this tree. It's literally cut in half, and there's just a lot of trees like this one downtown. A lot of debris you can see across the street. Also, there's another tree that's just, the limbs are all cut off, all blocking the sidewalk. There's so much debris covering this area. Just like you were mentioning earlier, the winds, the straight line winds definitely affected this place. As you can see right here also, this sign is completely like blown off. A lot of damage here downtown. Can't even imagine what it looks like in some of the areas that were hit even harder. But of course, as we're driving around, we're driving very carefully because the lights are not all working. Some of the roads, because of the debris, are also even flooding here. And again, fans are trying to make it into the game running as safely as possible. But of course, we're going to continue to assess some of the damage downtown. We'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Aniele, thank you so much for that report. The tree damage behind you and the window damage and hearing what the fans went through at the Astros game, it's been a very dangerous afternoon, and it continues because we have so many tree limbs down and power line damage. There are power lines that are down on the ground. I don't have to see it. I know it's happening. There are power lines in many spots that are down, and that is very dangerous. They can still be live. So please be very, very careful about going back outside in the aftermath of the storm. The power line damage and power lines that can be down on the ground, they can still be live. Extremely dangerous. So be very, very careful if you must venture out. That power lines that are down can be live. And please stay away from them. I'm just getting an update from my producer, 811,000 without power right now across the heart of the Houston area. So we're approaching that 1 million people without power in the wake of this tremendous storm. And this began in central Texas. If you were with us a couple of hours ago, we were monitoring that thunderstorm cell. That's the one right there. And it began with a tornado warning out in Fayette and Lee County, and then just held together all the way across Galveston Bay and now into Chambers County. That's where the worst of the weather is heading right now. Let's take a good view at everything going on. These are the active warnings. These are flood warnings across our northern counties. We've had heavy rain up here, 3 to 4 inches on the saturated ground. We expected that, but this line of thunderstorms coming through here has done tremendous damage as it's raced across the area. That's an active severe thunderstorm warning for northern Galveston County. It includes a little bit of northern portions of Brazoria County, Friendswood, east all the way to League City. You're involved in that active severe thunderstorm warning, and there's a new severe thunderstorm warning for Chambers County, eastern Liberty County. That's to be expected as this new round of thunderstorms, the line pushes into those counties right now. Here's a closer view of the line as it raced through. I'll step to the side, just right across the heart of Harris County. Did a lot of damage with tree limbs and power outages down, power lines down. Now racing into Chambers County, Mont Bellevue, Baytown. The worst is through you, but it's still very windy. And I can see you there in League City. You're getting some very strong weather right now. You're in this new severe thunderstorm warning, League City. So you can expect some very strong winds. Alvin, League City, there's the Gulf Freeway racing through your neighborhood. Basically right now, Alvin to League City to San Leon, that's all moving in your direction. very, very rapidly. This is going to be moving into the Galveston Island complex very shortly. We'll zoom out and show you guys. You see the severe thunderstorm warning. There's Galveston. There's the Bolivar Peninsula. This is all racing in your direction. You're looking at a loop of over the past 2 hours. So this has raced all the way across southeast Texas in only 2 hours. That line is racing southeast at about 50 miles an hour. So this is going to hit Bolivar, Galveston, the Causeway. You do not want to be getting on the Causeway right now. If you have plans to leave Galveston now, don't. Just hold on. Very strong blinding rain, dangerous winds are about to come across the Causeway, and the rain's beginning to develop there in Galveston as well. Folks, in Texas City, you can expect to see some of those strong winds as well as that pushes through. That's where the leading edge is now. We'll take a moment and zoom in. So this is knocking on the door of Texas City. There's San Leon, Texas City, Lamarck, Hitchcock. There's the Gulf Freeway. There's the Causeway. It's all about to race through. Alvin's getting hit hard right now. Hastings to Brookside Village. Brazoria County getting hit with very strong thunderstorms. Alvin, you're just on the edge of that active severe thunderstorm warning as the line of storms races toward the coast now. Jamaica Beach, you want to make sure loose items are in up and down the beach here, because as that line comes across and you get that wind going over the open water of the bay, it can accelerate and give you guys very strong winds here as it approaches from the northwest here during the next half an hour or so. There's the big picture. So you can see the line. It's going to race through and off the coast here pretty quickly, but as this hits the coast, expect a pretty hard hit, gang. This is going to come in very hard with winds that are going to exceed 50 to 60 miles an hour. Storm track on that. You can see League City, Texas City, Jamaica Beach, Angleton, all in the path of that storm. Let me freshen this up. We'll put a new storm. Yeah, Jason Miles, meantime, is downtown. Jason, a moment ago you were showing us all the broken windows in downtown. I see street light damage there. What else are you seeing?
This is Louisiana Street right here, Dave, between Dallas and Lamar. So it looks like this intersection may be blocked at the present time due to some of the glass and other debris in the road. And Sergio may be showing you, my photographer, may be showing you the Wells Fargo Tower, the big green glass building, the second tallest building in downtown Houston. I'm told there are multiple windows blown out there as well. Honestly, I'm under some cover right now, but I'm going to step out. Oh yeah, lots of blown out windows in the Wells Fargo Tower. And I can tell you that reminds me personally, because I've looked back at old archival video of, I think it was Alicia, right, back in the early 80s, that did a lot of damage in downtown Houston as far as blown out windows and rocks that were used on the roofs of buildings and the parapets that blew off and ended up, causing a lot of the damage. After that, I think the method of using for drainage and things on rooftops changed. But as you see, whatever happened today took out dozens, if not hundreds of windows among buildings that make up the downtown skyline. David?
That's incredible. That is great. Just keep on that for a second. That is just amazing. So you're exactly right, by the way. It was 1983, Hurricane Alicia, which in its aftermath had knocked out thousands of windows in downtown buildings. And one of the theories was that the loose rocks that were used for drainage on top of the buildings on the flat roofs were blown off and broke the windows. That clearly isn't the case today. That's just wind damage. Now, in the canyons in between those downtown buildings, you can get some tremendous wind forces, and the wind can swirl very violently and create a lot of energy. And so that looks like what popped out what appears to be hundreds, of windows downtown. By the way, Hurricane Alicia was the last time we were hit by a Cat 3 in wind strength hurricane back in 1983. Now we've just got a new tornado warning that's been issued for Chambers County. First of all, that's the line of thunderstorms, the leading edge racing south and east. It reaches Texas City by 7:33 and then reaches the coast here very, very quickly. Kim, you've got an update on our new tornado warning in Chambers County.
Yeah, David, I've got an update here that it lasts until 7:45. So a new tornado warning issued for Chambers and the southernmost portion of Liberty County. This is for radar indicated rotation. So You can see the rotation that we're picking up there on our couplets right here. Hard to see it on velocity, but like we've been talking about all along this straight line boat echo, we could see these mini tornadic rotational couplets that bring about not just the 70-80 miles an hour as a straight line brunt force, but the possibility of rotation. So these are moving very fast. They've picked up in speed, now moving 65 miles an hour straight towards the east. So Anahuac being impacted right now. You saw the damage downtown to the windows. That's why we tell you to go to an interior space. If you're out in the exterior portion, like the living room of your home, and your window gets blown out, now you're exposed to that glass and your family is in danger. So make sure you go to an interior space like a closet, like a bathroom. Beaumont, it'll get to your area by 7:30, and again, it continues to push towards the east out of the area. So if you have any family members in the Orange area in Port Arthur, give them a heads up that these storms have held together over the last 2 hours with tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings getting reissued. A severe thunderstorm warning right now for Seabrook and Santa Fe, again pushing towards the east, so impacting Texas City here in the next few minutes. 7:29, that's when the straight line wind damage could get to your neighborhood, Bolivar Peninsula. 10 minutes after that, just about. Severe thunderstorm warning with a lot of lightning, very strong wind. Radar indicated 70 to 80 miles an hour of wind. The potential for hail is there, but that's not the big concern. It's really the rotation within these storms and just the blunt force of the storms pushing through, bringing that wind damage that has uprooted trees. I've seen several pictures of dozens of trees down all around town, windows being blown out from the downtown buildings. Strikes over the last 10 minutes. More than 1,000 of them. And I mentioned that, yes, there's a hail threat too. This is a look at the hail cores over the last 2 hours. They passed from Cypress through the northern portion of the loop in the Beltway. So Jersey Village to Hawthorne Place, hail signatures there. Right now, taking a really close look at Southern Liberty towards Chambers County with that active tornado warning. This is a live look over the Galleria. It's nice and quiet here now, still looking at some rain, still looking at some wind, but the big damage, the big impact zone right now is headed straight for Chambers County. So this is the last push of the straight line and tornado threat that we've been tracking over the last 2 hours. Push through downtown, push through Baytown, now headed towards Anahuac. Anahuac, it's actually right over you now. Make sure you are securing your family members in an interior space. If you're in Monroe City, it's headed to you right now. Now, this tornado warning stretches just west of Fig Ridge and just west of Winnie. That doesn't mean you're not going to see the impacts of some very powerful wind with the potential to rotate. But right now you'll notice that little couplet just south of Anahuac that has this bright spot of reflectivity. That's showing, as we could see, wind at 60, maybe 70, maybe even 80 miles an hour. That's what we've been tracking all afternoon with these storm systems. And the impacts that they've had have just been widespread. This has been an all Southeast Texas event, passed right through the heart of downtown. Here's a loop over the last 2 hours and the damage that it's done. So started in Brenham, pushed down 290, passed through Katy, passed through Cypress, and then headed right for the Heights, Bunker Hill Village. Right now, passed through Golden Acres, Taylor Lake Village getting hit right now. League City, which is under a severe thunderstorm warning, is seeing the wind and is potentially seeing some hail too. I'm seeing some bright spots there on reflectivity. So I'll turn on the hail track right now. Small hail, really, that's not the focal point of today's severe weather event. It has truly been the muscling of this very strong wind. So still looking at the reflectivity values near Mont Belvieu, near Liberty, where the straight line is marching through right now, anywhere between 50 to 70 miles an hour, still holding together. At the peak of the strength of this line, I saw reflectivity values at 100 to 115 miles an hour. So no surprise that the damage that we've seen came to fruition. So blown out windows, we've seen that already, which is why the areas that are now forewarned, I'm going to take off the lightning so you can really get to the heart of the storm system. Very, very strong. So in Monroe City right now, continuing to push out of southeast Texas over the next 5 to 10 minutes. So Winnie, you're being hit right now with some heavy rain very shortly within the next 5 or 10 minutes. If you're watching us live here, you're going to get hit with some strong straight line wind impacts. Sea breeze, same deal for you. High Island, you have about 10 minutes before that gets to you. Smith Point, you're being hit with some rounds of heavy rain and some wind. Notice Galveston Island, you're seeing some pockets of rain right now, but the main straight line impacts, if I turn on velocity, are just north of you. So you're going to get hit with some rain and some wind, but the straight line wind impacts are to the north of you and tracking straight to the east. So again, taking a close look at the tornado warning right now in Anahuac until 7:45. It's passing through you right now. Here's a loop over the last hour. I'm going to drop that loop to just the last 15 minutes so we can really hone in on where the strong wind is right now. There it is. Anahuac and getting closer to the neighborhoods, Monroe City. So right along FM 562, very strong wind. Strong wind, heavy rain. That's likely to cause power outages, down trees in the neighborhood. If any of your neighbors have loose furniture, it's going to send some of that flying, and you might have to look for it a little bit later on tomorrow or the next day, because right now the thing to do is to stay inside in an interior space, especially within that tornado warning, but really anywhere that you see this bright colored yellow box, that's a severe thunderstorm warning with the potential of some damaging wind. We're going to take it out to Anayeli. I know you were tracking some of the fans that were trying to make it to the Astros game. What are you noticing right now out there? I see you in your rain jacket. It looks like it's still windy and there's still some rain.
Hey, Kim, that's right. We were passing through Minute Maid as the storm was literally passing over us. It got super dark. We also saw some pedicab drivers trying to drive through there, and the wind was just blowing them all over the place. It looked like they were toys, and it was so scary. Fortunately, they did make it safely inside. But let me show you guys some of the damage we've been spotting over here. Look at this tree completely knocked out. We also have even more damage to show you. Let me see if my photographer, you can see right here a squirrel underneath this tree that's completely uprooted. This is right next to the courthouse. You can see how just powerful these winds are, and just exactly what you were saying, why it's so important to stay away from these windows, because you never know what can happen when the weather is just like this. And this is just one of the many trees that are out here that just completely blocking the sidewalks, the streets out here. We also got, let me see if my photographer can show you. Look at this. You can see just debris all down the street here. And then also you can see some of these light poles. You see that one right there? It's broken off from this intersection here. This is near the courthouse on Congress Street. And as you can see, just so much debris and so much cleanup that needs to be done out here. And it happened so quickly. Just got dark within a second, and the winds just were blowing. We could feel our car moving as we were trying to drive through downtown, obviously as careful as possible. Again, a lot of wind damage out here. So if you're driving on these streets, be very careful. You might not be able to see it, but there's glass on the streets, and of course a lot of downed trees and other things. But of course we're going to continue to drive around and see what more we can spot. In the meantime, we'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Anayeli. Tremendous amount of damage across the Houston area. 850,000 without power. There's so much damage to the power line infrastructure. It's going to be a while. This is probably going to take days to get power turned back on to folks who've lost it. Severe thunderstorm warning and tornado warning in effect for Chambers County, and a hail threat. What you're looking at is our hail detector. See that spike right there? That indicates the radar picking up a tremendous amount of material in the atmosphere. And that's where the hail core is right now, just east of Hancomer, east of Monroe City. That's Highway 10 in Chambers County. Looks like the tornado warning has been allowed to expire. We'll look at the big line right now. Here's the line of thunderstorms as it races through. No, tornado warning is still active in northern Chambers County. We'll get to that in just a moment. Otherwise, you see the severe weather has now transitioned to the coastal counties, Galveston Bay, Chambers County, Galveston County, northern Brazoria County, and that will be racing off the coast here in about half an hour, 40 minutes. After that, the severe weather threat will come to an end. Behind it, we have some lingering showers, but none of that is severe. It's just some lingering showers behind the main line of storms. So I've turned off all the radar, and you can see all the warnings. These are all flood warnings across our northern counties. 3 to 4 inches of rain has fallen here today. There'll be lots of high water spots here on low water crossings. You want to stay off the roads up here tonight, especially the rural roads. No lighting, you dip down, and you can have road damage or water on the road and not be able to see it. Across the Houston area with the line that's just come through, there are going to be a lot of power lines that are down. Those lines can still have power going to them. Be very careful with downed power lines. It can be very dangerous right after a storm. Active severe thunderstorm warnings in yellow. That is a tornado warning in northern Chambers County. There's the leading edge of the storms racing through to the coast right now with the strongest storm in Chambers County. I've got a track on this. We're just about to see those storms. They're knocking on the door of Texas City. Reaches Galveston here in just a few minutes. By 7:45, it should be the leading edge in downtown Galveston. Here's our tornado warning. This one in effect till 7:45, so another 10 minutes or so. As it came across the bay, I see the couplet. Let me show it to you. This is why they issued that warning. Right there. See it? Right here where these red, these hot and cool colors were coming together right over Anahuac. That was at 7:18. Weather Service saw that rotation and went ahead and issued a tornado warning that includes the Anahuac area and northern Chambers County. Now that was at 7:18. It's now 7:34. So we'll move this ahead in time. I'll leave the circle there so you can see it's moved through over Anahuac, and now we really don't have a couplet anymore. We just kind of have straight line wind. So we've transitioned back to a straight line wind threat across central Chambers County. That's where the couplet was at 7:18. It's no longer there. So Anahuac, you're just getting gusty straight line wind right now, as opposed to anything that could be tornadic. Let's open this back up. And as we look at this now, I don't see anything tornadic here, just straight line winds coming across Chambers right now. But those winds have been gusting at 60, 70, 80, 90 miles an hour as they came across Harris County, and has knocked out power to 850,000 people. And as you can see, the red box has now been taken off, so the tornado warning has been allowed to be canceled. There's no longer an active tornado warning in Chambers County. Good. 880,000 now without power. Just getting an update from my producers. Thanks, guys. 880 without power. I think a little bit ago I estimated that we might see 1 million people be without power before this is all said and done. We're getting close to that. That type of wind going right across the heart of our populated Houston area, you're going to just have a tremendous amount of power outages. League City, that's an active severe thunderstorm warning for you. Includes Alvin, a big chunk of the Gulf Freeway on the west side of the bay. NASA Clear Lake, League City, all involved in that severe thunderstorm warning. Severe thunderstorm warning for Chambers County. There's the leading edge of the damaging wind in Chambers County. That's going to race toward High Island and off the coast here in about 10, 15 minutes. In fact, we can put a storm track on that. Go back to the radar view. There are the storms as they're racing across the area. Right there they are. They're coming into Galveston. I'll clear this out the way. And so that's racing through. This is going to race across Galveston Bolivar Peninsula here in the next couple of minutes. So Galveston, Bolivar, take cover now. You're under a severe thunderstorm warning. Expect straight line winds that could exceed 50, 60, 70 miles an hour. Now, as this blew through downtown Houston, we had a tremendous amount of damage in downtown with windows blown out to many of the skyscrapers. Jason Miles is downtown. Jason, what are people telling you about what they experienced as the storm blew through?
Funny you mentioned that. I just spoke with a young lady who works at a law firm, or rather an accounting firm here in the Wells Fargo building, the landmark big green tinted glass building here. As you can see, dozens, if not hundreds of window panes blown out. She was in her office on like the 50th something floor, 54, I think she said. She heard people talking, you know, there's some weather coming in, that kind of thing. And I guess she has a sliding door on her cubicle or her office, and she saw it sliding on its own as the building maybe swayed a little bit. And she didn't think much of it, but she did go down to the lobby or the lower level in the building just as a precaution, and she just came out within the last 5 or 10 minutes as things are clearing up and settling down, and was amazed by all the damage here. She took some pictures like some other workers I've seen come out, taking pictures, documenting something they have never seen before. Obviously, maybe they didn't live back in the 80s when Alicia came through and did a lot of similar damage, but certainly a sight to see, and hopefully folks are all right. Obviously, this blew through, I think, after 5 o'clock, but that doesn't mean people weren't still in some of these buildings working. But as you can see, windows blown out into offices and other areas. In fact, we just heard some more glass fall to the ground. And that's another hazard down here. Lots of broken glass on the sidewalks, on the streets. So police have several intersections blocked. This is Louisiana, a very busy thoroughfare, especially on a night when activities are underway. So they're making sure people don't come into certain areas, and are advising them certainly not to walk if you can't help it. If you can help it in these areas, David.
Just a tremendous picture downtown. I have to tell you, Jason, I'm surprised to see this much window damage from this line of thunderstorms. Now, we had winds with this at Category 1 strength, Category 1 hurricane strength, so maybe I shouldn't be so surprised. But that's what these winds, straight line winds coming through downtown, have knocked out clearly hundreds, if not thousands, of windows. The wind can get very funneled and very strong through the canyons in between those tall downtown buildings. That may have been what had done it. This is the latest radar loop over the past 2 hours. Leading edge of the storms just about to reach the coast. There's the Bolivar Peninsula. There's downtown Galveston. Alvin, League City under a severe thunderstorm warning. Straight line winds, small hail. With that, we don't have any active tornado warnings left. That's the strongest storm right there, racing through Chambers County, about to exit just south of Winnie. Gulf Freeway at the Causeway. That's the Galveston Causeway you're looking at. Traffic's moving pretty good right now. Let's zoom in. I'll tell you what, I would not want to be on the Causeway when that line of storms comes through. We're still getting wind gusts of at least 50 miles an hour. And you're going to have just blinding visibility. But right now, Causeway's moving. There's the Causeway. That's where our live shot was from. Santa Fe, right on the leading edge of those storms. There's Bayou Vista, Texas City, about to get in on it. This is what the rain's done over the past 30 minutes. It's going to race through across the bay, across Galveston, and then off the coast here in the next half hour or so. The line is not quite as strong as it was. This side of the line is not as severe as... So this is not producing the damaging wind that did right there. That's the really strong impulse right now. It's racing through Chambers County. This is producing gusty wind, but not nearly as strong as it was coming through downtown. We had gusts of 80 to 90 miles an hour. But League City, you're taking it hard right now. A lot of wind. Alvin, back to Liverpool and Angleton, you're on the tail end of that line right now. Thunderstorms racing across northern portions of Brazoria County. Again, all that will race across the coast here in the next half hour or so. There's the big picture. So at the moment, active severe thunderstorm warning right there for League City and for eastern Chambers County. Let me show you what that looks like without the radar on it. Now you can see all the warnings. Severe thunderstorm warnings in yellow. Yeah, and as I'm doing this, these are the flood warnings. I see the tree damage. That's in Spring Valley. And this is going to be one of many, 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 many pictures of tree damage that we will see when you get winds like that coming across a city this densely populated with this many trees. We are such a green city. We have so many big, beautiful trees. And especially these oaks, sometimes they're very vulnerable to straight line winds. They don't tend to bend quite as much, and limbs can snap. And so that was Spring Valley. And I expect we're going to see more damage like that. Once again, these are the severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. The really bad weather has pushed to the coastal counties, in particular Galveston and Chambers County. ongoing flood warnings, although the heavy rain has ended up here, and I'm not expecting any more heavy rain up there. That's the good news. You got what you got. There's not a whole lot more up there. Here's a closer view of where the rain is right now. There's your severe thunderstorm warning for Galveston County, League City, getting very heavy rain, very strong winds. Winds that could be strong enough to knock out some power as well, League City. But you can see how that line is just about to reach Galveston and Bolivar. And you don't want to be on the causeway. That line of thunderstorms bearing down on the causeway. Let's zoom in on that. There we go. Santa Fe on Highway 6, just on the leading edge of that line of thunderstorms. There's Texas City, there's Bayou Vista. It's all racing in your direction. Western tip of the Bolivar Peninsula getting a pretty good downpour right now. Friendswood, I see you. You got lightning and thunder and some gusty wind as well, possibly some small hail with that. Smith Point getting wet. You see Alvin there also getting in on the thunderstorm activity. You are just on the edge of that severe thunderstorm warning, Alvin. Highway 35 at Highway 6, thunderstorm moving through there. Sienna, south of Highway 6 on the back edge of that line. Again, the line racing southeast. That line's racing southeast at about 40. The tail end of this line not moving quite as quickly. It's moving pretty quick. So this will be off the coast here pretty quickly. And we'll be able to get out and assess the damage, which will be extensive across Harris County. Boy, Kim Castro, that line of storms that we saw out there in Fayette and Lee County, about 4 hours ago now, 3 hours ago now, has really packed a wallop as it's come across Houston and Harris County.
Yeah, it came with intention and force. And David, I am very curious to know the storm reports once this is all said and done, because even though in velocity we were looking at 90-mile-an-hour wind gusts, there were a couple of times where I was looking at radar and zooming in really closely, and there was 110, even 115-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So at that rate, that wouldn't just be Category 1 hurricane force winds, that would jump up to potentially Cat 2, maybe even Cat 3 force winds. That again is all radar indicated. So I'll be very curious to see these storm reports and the storm assessment by the National Weather Service tomorrow as they go out and survey the damage. But those blown out windows and those uprooted trees, I've been seeing a lot of pictures and videos being sent in by some friends and even viewers. That is very indicative of some powerful wind that we saw that could potentially have been even more than the Cat 1 criteria, which would be at 74 miles an hour. We're still tracking flash flood warnings. A lot of these are pushing east of the viewing area. But right now, I'm really honing in on the last batch of rain that's passing through League City right now, headed to the Bolivar Peninsula. With that, still looking at impacts from the wind. Radar indicated right now at 45 to 55 miles an hour. That brighter spot I don't have highlighted there, that could be the wind that kicks up to 60, maybe 65 miles an hour. Still watching for the possibility of any rotation within these severe thunderstorm warnings. But these storms are finally making their last push through here. Notice the severe thunderstorm warning also comes with the threat of some hail. Here's the hail signatures over the last 2 hours. So you'll notice it really takes your eye out to Cypress in the northern portion of Harris County. Really, the North Loop and the Beltway saw some very large hail signatures. So anywhere between ping pong to golf ball size possible with these storms that push through. League City, where the rain is right now, seeing a hail signature, maybe pea-sized hail coming down with these storms. In Chambers County, Anahuac, anywhere between quarter to maybe golf ball sized hail with some of these storms. There's going to be melting as these storms reach the ground, so likely the hailstone's a little bit smaller than that, but still looking at the threat for a little rotation and the straight line wind impact as we are still tracking these severe thunderstorm warnings as the last batch starts to exit southeast Texas. Taking a look at the lightning strike counts, we've been seeing power outages because of the wind, but of course lightning strikes can also take out transformers. So the count over the last 10 minutes, right around 750, and a higher count for the amount of positive strikes. You saw that up there. Let me take it back so you can see that. positive strikes. The differentiator between these two, negative ones come from the bottom of the thunderstorm cell, positive ones come from the top. Now, that could be the difference between a few tens of thousands of feet. So that means the top of the thunderstorm cell, the positive strikes, have a longer distance to travel, and so they are 10 times stronger. And they have more force when they do strike an object like a transformer. Radar loop here over the last hour shows us, yeah, this is the last batch, and we have a nice clearing behind it. Looking at the southern portion of the Beltway, which is right where that rain ends, towards the islands, about 30 miles, so about 30 minutes, and then we are wrapping this up. We're going to take it out live to Shernmin Chow. Shernmin, it looks like you are tracking some of the storm damage right now. I see some folks behind you. They're looking at probably a lot of tree damage, huh?
Yeah, you're right, Kim. In the Spring Branch neighborhood, we're actually on Kempwood here next to Gessner. It's a popular intersection, and you can see one of these big trees that have been felled from the median. And this is just one of them. To get here, we actually had to cut back, kind of weave in and out of Kempwood on the east and west sides, because several trees like this have been blown over, stopping the traffic. You'll hear periodically emergency vehicles coming by, trying to help folks out, and all kinds of damage with these felled trees landing on top of cars and on top of homes. This is Jessica Smith. You were here when this all happened.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me what you saw and heard.
We were outside and you could see the whole sky turn green, so we ran inside. And then the wind and the rain came and it just blew. It blew. It was scary. I freaked out.
And you said you could just hear that sound.
You could hear the sound, the howling, and saw the green in the sky.
Okay, we're going to pan past you now up over here to this rooftop, and this is your neighbor, and they may or may not be home, probably getting a pretty rude awakening when they get back to the house, huh?
Yes, ma'am. The tree completely fell on top of her roof. I feel so sorry for her.
Yeah, it's split open, and there's definitely damage to the house and the roof. And sad to say, this is not unique in this neighborhood. We just were cruising down Kempwood and saw a couple homes like this with tree branches poking into houses, everything.
Yes, and I heard it was really bad over off of Hammerly and Blaylock.
Yeah, actually, we're trying to get there as well, but we had up here. Okay, thank you very much, Jessica. I'm going to walk on over here to the tree just to give you guys an idea. Take a look at the base of this tree. A lot of folks in the neighborhood coming out to check things out and take pictures because it's a pretty unusual situation, this young lady standing here. But I just want to give you an idea about something. So I'm 5'5", and this is larger. Its diameter is, wider than I am tall. That's the base, the root ball, if you will, that is flipped over, that a gust of wind pulled through. The folks here believe it was a tornado. We will, of course, wait for the Weather Service to tell us whether that is true or not. Lots of folks. You got a broom here, young man. All right, tell me your name.
I'm Noah Akshar.
Okay, Noah, and this is?
Zane Akshar.
And you are Dad, yes? Okay, all right. So really a good idea, a good deed, but I mean, I think it's going to take a little bit more than the broom to get this tree out of the road, huh?
It will, very much.
Right.
We were using the broom to clear out the drains. It started flooding from the debris and the sticks.
Okay.
So we were clearing all the drains out for the neighbors. The water was probably about up to here.
Mm-hmm.
And then once we cleared the drains, it started flowing really fast. And
Excellent. And actually, yes, so we can attest, as we were driving up and down Kempwood, we looked into these side streets and there was standing water. Interesting because it's dry here, but the side streets here, the north-south streets look like they were flooded. Yeah. So you guys were home at the time. Tell me, what did you hear? What did you see? What did you do? Noah?
So at the very beginning, I was doing my homework, and then I hear alert going off on my phone saying that there's a tornado warning. And I hear my dad yelling that the wind is going crazy, everything. He says that he hears whistling and everything going on. So in the hallway, yeah, we all hide in the hallway. We all make it to the hallway. We get all our dogs, we get everything. And we sit there for a good 15, 30 minutes.
Okay, all right. And what are you thinking as all this is happening? Ever experienced anything like this?
I've never experienced this, but I was thinking that I need to stay calm and help people out. Because my mom was very worried the whole time.
I actually grew up in this neighborhood,
okay.
and I have never seen a tornado in this neighborhood at all my whole life. So
Yeah, it's a pretty rare thing, and it may or may not be an official tornado because the National Weather Service and those official people will put their stamp of certification on it. But
I'd say it definitely sounded like one though. It was whistling, and I mean the doors sounded like they were about to bust in, and the windows were shaking. It was pretty bad.
yes, I know. It's just crazy, and we're going to take another walk around here. I know it's a bit hard for us at the moment, but we're going to get around these neighborhoods. But just, you can take a look at this tree and the kind of damage. Thank you, Noah. Thank you, Zane. We appreciate your time.
Very nice to meet you.
And thanks for getting those drains cleaned out. I know your neighbors appreciate that.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, it is crazy stuff. And here we go. We got another fire truck coming through. This one, though, not necessarily running its lights and sirens, but it is. It's crazy, I got to tell you, up in the neighborhood. And I don't know if we've been able to flip it around or not, but as we were making our way here, we were on the Beltway, and just north of Hamley, there was an 18-wheel, a semi, like a cargo truck, completely flipped over onto its side so that the wheels and the chassis were facing the road, and that has blocked up the North Belt there and is creating its own kind of traffic havoc, as are all of the lights because the power's out, so all kinds of trouble and problems here. But neighbors in good spirits because, as far as we can tell so far, nobody has been hurt, and that of course is the most important thing. But you can see, lots of folks. Hey, Tiger, maybe you want to get out of there. Do you want to? That may be a little dangerous. Oh, come on, buddy. How about we get out of there? Okay, because it's a whole lot bigger than you are. What do you say? Okay. I got two boys. I know exactly what he's thinking anyway. But that's the situation out here in Spring Branch. We're going to go check around in some of the other neighborhoods and see if we can bring you more and maybe learn a little bit more about that overturned 18-wheeler on the Beltway, which is causing big traffic nightmares on the northbound side there.
Just amazing. Sherman, thank you so much for that report. Thank you for keeping that little guy safe. There's a lot of downed things right now, trees and poles and power lines, and because of the number of power lines that are down, many of them across roads, Harris County is asking everybody to stay off the roads tonight because of the number of power lines that have come down across the roads in Harris County. Now, these are peak wind gusts at some of our official reporting sites. 62-mile-an-hour gust at Bush, 62-mile-an-hour gust at Hobby. But it was right in between Bush and Hobby where the core of the wind damage has occurred. And I can tell you, we had wind gusts in here that were 70, 80 mile an hour or stronger, right through the heart of downtown, came right down 290, right through the Memorial Villages, through Memorial, through the Heights, the Montrose downtown, Edo, and then east to Baytown and off to the Bay. So these are official reports, but I guarantee you we had some much stronger winds in there. This is video from Minute Maid as water which had gathered on the roof was blown into the stadium. I don't know if they're going to play the game tonight or not. I haven't heard. We're supposed to have a start, but I don't know if they started playing baseball there or if they've delayed it or not. But that is, you've got the roof closed and you still have the water pouring in. That's a sign of a very, very strong wind event, wind-driven event that went right down 290, right through downtown, and then raced off to the east toward Baytown, LaPorte, and then off through Chambers County. These are peak wind gust official sites, but in between, we had some very, very strong wind gusts. This is the radar as it stands right now. There's our line of strong thunderstorms. No longer severe in most places. We have one severe thunderstorm warning here for far eastern Chambers County. So strong thunderstorms about to push across Galveston Bay, but that'll be the end of it. And then off into the Gulf they go, and we'll get a chance to assess the damage. But tonight may not be the night to be out in it. Again, with the number of power lines that have come down, with the number of power lines that are down across roadways, Harris County officials are asking to please stay off the roads because of the number of power lines that have come down. These are the active warnings now. There's the only severe thunderstorm warning in effect right now, eastern Chambers County. These are active flood warnings because of the water already falling earlier. There's no longer any heavy rain up here, but you've got a lot of high water spots across Walker County, Grimes County, Polk, and San Jacinto counties. Here's a closer view of the line of storms as it comes across Galveston Bay. through Chambers County. Looks like the worst of it is exiting Chambers County right now, grazing by High Island. League City, Alvin, strong thunderstorms. It's been raining in here for a while. I would not be surprised if you have a few high water spots on the entrance and exit ramps to the Gulf Freeway here. So be careful on the roads out there. That's going to cross the causeway here right about now. Here's what Future Track says. Here's where we are now. And the storms continue to push off the coast after 9 o'clock, and then we'll be done with this by midnight tonight. Jason Miles, downtown, where the heart of this wind damage has occurred. Jason, you've got some folks with you. How are they doing?
Hey there, yeah, these are coworkers. They work in the 1100 building, Enterprise Plaza, the big pink kind of granite colored building near Wells Fargo Tower, which had a lot more windows blown out. But you guys were in the lower level of Wells Fargo in a restaurant, right?
Restaurant Adair's. So yeah, we all took cover in the bathroom. Windows blowing out, trees flying everywhere. It was crazy.
And I saw you shared video with me of a window pane just basically shattering.
Yes. Yeah, we were going to the restroom. We were about to leave, and then all of a sudden we're in the restroom and we hear everybody screaming and coming toward the restroom, and there's like dust blowing down from the ceiling tiles, and then all of a sudden like everybody's coming into the restroom and stuff. Yeah.
You're Mark, you're Dave, and you were telling me there was a guy in a car outside.
Yeah, evidently a guy had something fall into his car outside, and he came running in, had a gash on his arm about 8 inches, and we had to put a tourniquet on it and flag down the police.
And it took a while for the paramedics to get there. Yeah. Like the police came first, and then paramedics
they
later.
ended up taking him in the cop car because it was so crazy. Couldn't get an ambulance down here.
I guess your hope is that not a lot of people were at least seriously injured.
Yeah, I hope
we did.
So.
That was the only person we saw that was seriously injured. Yes.
Yeah.
What about your personal office? Any damage?
This side doesn't look bad, but downstairs, yeah, we've got downstairs, the windows are blown out. So around the corner there, I mean, you can see all the glass. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for talking to us and for sharing that video. Certainly a chaotic and dramatic day for a lot of people who work in downtown Houston. Back to you.
So much for that update. It has been a tremendous weather day across Houston and Southeast Texas as the heart of downtown took a direct hit from that Bo Echo, that straight line windstorm as it raced across the area the past hour or two. Now the line of storms is racing to the coast. The worst of it is now to the east of our area. It's into Jefferson County, south of Port Arthur. That's the one right there. So the worst of it has now cleared our area. We still have lingering thunderstorms, but these are not severe. From Alvin to League City down to Galveston, it's going to be a rainy evening down here, but at the moment nothing severe, and I don't expect that to be severe. I think the worst of it right there has now pushed off to the east. It is 8 o'clock. We've got our crews out. We're gathering all the information of the power lines and the damage and the trees that are down across the area. We will have a complete update on what we're facing as far as recovering from this storm on the TV side on KHOU 11 News at 10 o'clock. We will see you then for a live update.